Let's go.
It's your back, it dey keep passing. It dey bring out the best thing. I dey feel your recipe. Make you give me that recipe. Fine, fine. Yeah, you fine. You so divine. I dey feel you die.
What's up, people? We got a new episode of Awesome Entertainment. It's your boy Joel Awesome. All right, we talking about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. All right, I finally finished the show. I'm gonna let y'all know what I think. All right, I was surprised. It was fucking good. Like I don't even know what else to say. It was fucking good. Now, I don't know if you watched my earlier video, the trailer. The trailer had a lot of jokes in it. Felt very Marvel, Disney-esque with the jokes, just like overboard. And I was like, where is that? Oh man, they taking the wrong turn. So I was kind of skeptical. We saw how Game of Thrones ended, they fell off. And we saw House of Dragons was fired till the last 4 episodes was like slow. Some shit was supposed to happen. And we was like, what's going on? This show was good. And it actually gives me hope for House of Dragons that they're going to come back strong. At first, the first episode, super slow. I ain't even gonna like, oh, shit was slow. I was like, what are we doing? Like, this is. It felt like it was just like, oh man, it's kind of dragging. But the issue was, or the thing was, like, there was like a small glimmer of like potential. You're like, okay, this is gonna be, from the bottom to the top type story. Once again, I'm gonna go to a non-spoiler review. I'll do the spoilers after, okay? But like, it picked up, man. It picked up. It was slow, and I was like, I was having my doubts. But that show picked up. There was some twists. There was some turns. There was a few twists and turns. For every episode being about 30 minutes, 6 episodes. It's not a lot to watch, but they made the most with the time that they had. It was fire. It was fire. If you haven't watched it and you're a Game of Thrones fan, watch it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you like Game of Thrones, I don't see any reason why you'd be disappointed in this one. Homie, he did his thing. My favorite character is Egg, his squire that rolled with him. The kid's a good actor, man. Honestly, so like my issue with some of the jokes is like, they don't really land all the time, but his reactions are funny. Like the way he not even what he's saying, just like his acting was pretty on point. And yeah, there's a lot of surprises. I won't say a lot. There's a few surprises, but there's some good twists. It gives you hope. I'll say it gives me hope that, House of Dragons is going to still do their thing. I heard there might be a Game of Thrones spinoff with Jon Snow or whatever, but I don't know if they're going to do that. They might just AI that. They might just come with the AI. But if you haven't watched it, you Game of Thrones fan, watch it. That's all I can say without spoiling too much. With that being said, I'm getting into spoilers. So save the video, save to your playlist, save watch for later. If you ain't seen it, go watch the show, come back. I'm gonna let you know. All right, so if you haven't seen it, I'll spoil it. 3, 2, 1. Man, what the twist with Egg being Aegon, shit. I said, shit. One, how many Aegons are there? You got Aegon, you got Aegon and Egg, you got Jon Snow, you got the one who took Robert Baratheon. Was that Aegon that took Robert Baratheon's girl? And then you got that wasn't Aegon, that was somebody else. But then you got Aegon in House of Dragons. And I think one of the other little kids is named Aegon. One of the babies in House of Dragons. Man, that guy, they do not come up with no new names. They don't even offer like the third or the fourth. They're just like, you Aegon. Which is kind of cool. I like that you could kind of live off somebody else's history. Like the real Aegon is the conqueror, and everybody kind of just lives off his clout because I got his name and I'm part of his family. But when they brought the Targaryens in, I was happy because even though they're a sick, twisted family, they're entertaining, man. They're entertaining. They make good villains. And when Buddy went off, he's like, they're incestuous, evil, da 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 da. He's like, yeah, he did it on purpose. They ain't shit. I was like, I feel you, bro. He ain't hold back. Like he ain't hold back nothing. That was one of the things that was good about this show. They had good characters. I'll be honest, I don't remember his name, but the homie that was rolling with him that was like, yo, I don't fuck with the Targaryens, but I'll fight for you. He even, when they try to backstab him and hop out the fight, the homie is like, yo, knight me, I'll fight. I don't even care. Like he was a real one. That was a good character. The dude who betrayed him was a good character. He was only in the show for a little bit, but his dialogue was entertaining. I fucks with it. Obviously, Egg to me was the best character just because he was a good actor. The twist made him. At first, he was a little bit like it felt gimmicky, like oh they got the kid. Everybody gonna like the kid because he a kid. But then I was like, oh, he's actually like part of the plot. What he did actually had him not telling Dunk who he was and his brother being a target. I was like, oh, okay. They added a lot of depth to it. Made the character even that more interesting that he wasn't just a gimmick. Like he was important. Like he's not just important. I want to see what happens more. The part that threw me was when they went and they ran into that witch or whatever that was like predicting the future. And she told that man that he's gonna be king. She's like, you'll be king. You're gonna die in the worms and the dirt, and everybody's gonna celebrate. And that fool was shook. He was like, why would you say that? Dunk. My thing with Dunk is, and this okay, we gonna get into some complaints. I don't like following stupid people around too long, man, and I don't mind a stupid character because Goku. If you watch DBZ, if you anime fan, Goku be doing some dumb shit, but you can love Goku and embrace him. I feel like that's kind of how Dunk is. It's like he'll do some dumb shit, but you can like him, you can embrace him. But I don't want to follow him around too long. But when he said that shit when she said that shit to Egg, like everybody gonna be happy when you die. And Egg was shook, and he was like, "Oh, wait, what are you tripping? What do you mean? Why am I tripping? Like, bro, you have no heart. Like, but he does have heart. He has a lot of heart. Man, and this was one of the things I did like. They had that moment where he was like, "Are there any knights among you?" You know what I mean? Like, that was one of them. Like, there's supposed to be an impactful statement. It was supposed to be an impactful moment. Like he's trying to show who his real character is. He's calling everybody out for basically being pussies or not honorable, dishonorable. Is that the word? Either way, he called them out. Y'all ain't nice, and that shit landed. Like you know what I mean? Like sometimes things are done intentionally. You can tell it's like, oh, they trying to hype you up and make you feel something. Well, you did it. You did it. It worked. I was like, man, that was good delivery, good setup, everything. It was on point, man. The fight was good. It wasn't great, but I do like that the fights are somewhat realistic. So like he getting stabbed up, he getting jacked up, and he like damn near passed out. I mean, dude's losing blood and stuff. So I kind of do like that, and it does make the fights a little bit more suspenseful because like, what the hell's going to happen? They don't really fight like it's Marvel or Kung Fu. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect with the moves. It's just they be brawling like some straight up regular people, and that's kind of how these fights would go. These are once you get out in the field, there ain't no rules, so. It gets ugly out there, and it got ugly in the show. There wasn't too much it wasn't a whole lot of action, but it was enough. It was enough of what you got. I guess there was really no dragon action. I love me some dragons. They should have had some dragons up in there, but the action still held its own. It had meaning. You know what I mean? It had its moments. It even had consequences. Man, when they got Buddy with the helmet, I knew he was gonna die, man. They're like, "Oh, you got a dent in the back of your helmet. Let's just remove it." I was like, "This ain't gonna end well." You know, you kind of saw that coming, but either way, even though you saw it coming, it was like, "Fuck." You know, like you still felt it, like, "Fuck, yeah, you can't lose this dude. This is the dude that's gonna, keep you protected." Like they might try to fuck around and fuck Dunk up. But yeah, he was a cool character. But let's talk about Dunk. Since he is the main character, he did hold it down. I like a motivated guy, like, you know what I mean? And the reason why his motivation is to live up to honestly his own expectations and his time with Sir Arlen. He kept hyping that dude up. And this was one of the few times, like, if you look at like Ant-Man Quantumania, they try to hype up Kang the whole movie. You know what I mean? They didn't really show, he destroyed, universes and galaxies, and he killed Thor, and he killed Avengers, and they kept telling you shit, but they didn't show you shit. And then when it got time to show you shit, they didn't really hold it down. With Sir Arlen, the way he kept talking about him, I was like, they kind of hyping this dude up. I mean, he's hyping him up. Everybody else kind of saw him as he's a whatever, drunk, crazy dude. But he's like, he's that guy. And I didn't like that in the middle of the fight, they cut to the flashback. I had no clue what the fuck was going on. As I was watching the show, I was like, what the hell is going on? Who is that kid? I thought he got knocked out and that it was over. And I was like, they came to clean up the battlefield. But I was like, who is this under the horse? It took me too long. All right, that's on me. But it took me a little bit too long to understand that, that was Dunk. And this is the chick he used to roll with. You knew she was going to die. You could see that coming. But she was a fool. Like, she put herself in situations to get killed. She's still on knives and shit. Like, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take the knife back and use it on you. So, I mean, honestly, shit, I feel bad saying that, but I didn't feel bad she died because she was, you fucking with them, you know what I'm saying? You poking the bear. The bear's going to bite you, So I didn't like that. But his whole backstory with her was good. I just felt like it was a little misplaced. You could have did it earlier. You could have did it later. I'm in the middle of the fight. I'm in fight mode. Please don't take me out of that. Like, you know what I mean? Don't take me out that mode when we locked in. And the fight was so good that you could have just kept it pushing. They eventually did keep it pushing. It was great. But yeah, his character development was Sir Arlen. Y'all did a great job hyping that man up, and then the follow through. When he came busting, don't harm that boy, this drunk dude throwing up in the middle of the battle. I was like, what the hell? But once again, they brawl like the fights are more realistic. I like that. You know what I mean? It's not perfect, kung fu fighting this type shit. Like, they really be brawling and stumbling and that was one of the good things about, the original Daredevil on Netflix is like, the fights are somewhat realistic, even though they're doing kung fu. Like, they get tired. You know what I mean? They're fighting, they get tired. They lose blood. They start feeling weak. And, So Sir Arlen came in slanging that steel. And, I was a fan. Now, that dude was, I don't know if I would have hung out with him because he was definitely on some crazy shit. Like, that dude was out of his mind, talking to himself and stuff. But Dunk held him down, whenever he would drunk out. And Arlen was cool. He won me over immediately. And I understand Dunk. Like, I understand Dunk and why he fucked with him. The funny thing about Dunk is, like, even though he's so big, and he's the hero and he's so heroic, his style's a little bit swaggerless. Like, he really ain't got no style with him. Like, his suit kind of looks funny, but I feel like it's appropriate. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't make him look like Jack. It makes him look tall. It makes him look big, but it's like kind of goofy. But it fits. Like, it fits the character so well. And it's like, you kind of couldn't do a show with I guess you could do a show. It'd be actually kind of cool if they did a show with super knight or whatever that, jacked armor and he be whooping people like it's Marvel. But either way, this one's more realistic, and him being goofy and clunky in the suit and just moving the way they move, it was on point. It was on point. Like I said, it gives me hope. Gives me hope for the next season of House of Dragons. We still in there, y'all. We're good. I think they got us. There's been some better shit coming on. Maybe y'all just need to do a writer's strike, fire the people making some trash, and get back to it, because they cooking now. They cooking. Either way, let me know what y'all think. Hit like, hit share, hit subscribe. Now,
don't play with my patience. Man, they gone with the flow when they trying to fake it. That's not the way I roll, that's not the combination. You start off with the dough before you start the conversation. No one start the salutations, man, don't play with me. I'm coming from a place they would hate to be. I'm going through a phase you would hate to see. They say this life's a trip, ain't no telling where it's taking me. When you on the edge and you make your next move, better be your best. Before you throw it to the depths, better reinvest. Man, I count every moment and count every step, so I know I'm blessed. Now it's